On today's podcast, we'll be talking about why workstation checks are important for lean manufacturing. So stay tuned.
Welcome to Warehouse Safety Tips. If you're a seasoned vodcast viewer, this vodcast is going to be different from most that you watch. It's based around exactly what the name implies, warehouse safety tips. And since the people in this industry are busy, we know that time is money, so each episode will be as short and to the point as possible. And now, with all that out of the way, let's get to the vodcast.
Why is a workstation check important for lean manufacturing? A workstation check is an important part of the lean manufacturing process because it reduces waste, streamlines processes, and enhances safety, which you know we're all about. Reducing waste. By identifying the causes of waste in your warehouse and taking steps to eliminate them, you can reduce cost while improving productivity. For example, if a worker spends too much time walking from one area of a workspace to another because tools or materials are spread out across several different locations on the floor, which is also referred to as motion, then it's considered a form of wasted motion and should be addressed during a workstation check. And if you need a refresher on it, lean manufacturing is a systematic approach to reducing waste, improving productivity, and quality control. It focuses on eliminating activities that don't add value to the customers. This can be done by reducing inventory levels, minimizing transportation costs, and using only equipment when needed. Lean manufacturing has many benefits, including but not limited to improved efficiency through reduced lead times, reduced inventory cost, and increased flexibility. So what should be included in a workstation check? A workstation check is a process that involves inspecting the equipment and the environment at your warehouse or your facility. It's important to do this because it helps you identify areas where improvements can be made. If you want to improve your lean manufacturing process, it's important to look at every aspect of it, including how workers are using their workstations. A good way to start off with a workstation check is by making sure that all your equipment is in good working order before beginning any tasks on it. That way you know things have happened in other shifts or before you got there. This includes checking things like motors, belts, as well as inspecting things like saw blades, drill bits, any damage, wear, tear from previous use or misuse. You should also test machines periodically through each shift so that if something does break down unexpectedly during peak production times, there's going to be enough time for maintenance staff such as electricians or mechanics to address the situation. So how to implement a workstation check properly? Create a checklist. A workstation checklist is a great way to ensure that you're following the right steps when performing your checks. It's also a great training tool for new employees as a reference point. If you find yourself forgetting any of these steps in the future, it'll help you cement the ideas in your mind. If you train employees on how to use it correctly and consistently, they don't miss anything during their own inspections. Follow procedures exactly as written in order for them to be effective at catching defects before they become too big of an issue and more costly than necessary. So how to monitor workstation checks? Warehouse workers need to do workstation checks on a regular basis to ensure that their workstations are set up correctly and that they're using the right tools for the right job. In order to monitor this process, warehouse managers can use checklists of other forms or tracking systems. They can also use technology such as barcode scanners or RFID tags in order to track items which employees have in their possession at any given time. When analyzing data collected through these methods, warehouse managers should look out for trends in how often certain items are used by different people or groups within the facility, and this will help them determine whether there's anything they can do about improving efficiency by changing things like workflow patterns or equipment usage patterns. What are the benefits of a workstation check? Workstation checks are a great way to improve efficiency and quality in the workplace. They also reduce risk, which is important for any organization. It allows increased efficiency. Workstations should be set up in a way that allows employees to do their jobs quickly and easily. By checking your workstations regularly, you can identify any issues that might be slowing down a team member's performance on the job. For example, if an employee has trouble reaching something because it's too high or too low on their desk, you know that right away they'll report with an issue such as this and they can make changes accordingly. What are pitfalls of not doing a workstation check? If you don't do workstation checks, your warehouse workers could be wasting time and money. Here's some pitfalls of not doing the checks. If your employees aren't using their tools correctly, they may be slowing down productivity by spending too much time on a task and making more mistakes than necessary. This leads to frustration, even burnout if it goes too long. It also means that other workers have to pick up the slack, which means that there's less time for them to do their jobs as well. Other things are increased errors. When people use tools incorrectly, they're more likely to make mistakes than performing their duties and therefore creating waste. For example, if a forklift operator doesn't know how much weight their machine can hold before becoming overloaded, or if they don't check, then they could accidentally overload it and cause damage and cost thousands of dollars in repairs, not only costing money, but also potentially putting other people at risk as well. So how do we get started with lean manufacturing workstation checks? Assess the environment, implement processes, and train your employees. In conclusion, as you can see, there are many benefits to doing workstation checks. In addition to improving safety and efficiency, it also helps you maintain the highest quality standards. However, the most important thing is that you identify problems before they become a bigger issue. Thank you for being part of another episode of Warehouse Safety Tips. Until we meet next week, have a great week and stay safe.
Before moving on, here's a word from one of our sponsors. If you've ever been to or worked in a warehouse, you know just how important safety is to both management and staff. It's almost impossible to go 10 steps without seeing safety tape, angles, signs, and/or safety products. It's these items that show us how to be safe and avoid danger in the workplace. And if you're looking for the best products to make this happen, look no further than Mighty Line. Mighty Line floor signs and floor markings offer the best industrial products out there. We're proud to have Mighty Line as the official floor sign and floor marking company for the Warehouse Safety Tips podcast and site. Go to mightylinetape.com/safety tips to request a sample pack of their incredible safety signs and floor markings. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Warehouse Safety Tips. If you visit warehousesafetytips.com, you'll find the show notes for this episode and access to all of our blog posts, previous podcasts, advertiser information, and much more. Thank you for listening to Warehouse Safety Tips and have a safe day.